accidentally stop the recording instead of start.
Okay. My name is Kristen. I am a school psychologist for Hardin County Schools. I'm here today at John, which is the school I'm assigned to. We're talking to juniors and seniors about why I went into my field and kind of how I found my passion, which really started whenever I was a senior in high school, so it really relates to the kids that we're talking to. I knew I really enjoyed Canes, I really enjoyed psychology, and so combining school psychology combines the best of both worlds for me. So if you have any questions about school psychology, you can contact me. My email is kristen.stewart@hardin.kyschools.us. Also, if you're interested, in social media, nursing, I can get contacts for those as well, or teaching. So, thank you.
Life, you want to have a lot of choice in how you're going to live your life. Do you want to be able to travel? Do you want to be inside or outside? Looking at things from that perspective gives you an idea of what type of work you may need. If you really want to travel a lot and you really want to have a lot of expensive toys, say you want to have a boat and be on the lake. Like that's what you want. That would be like the ultimate. Then you need to move your direction in that way. So you've got to have a job that's going to allow you to have not only a house, a car, and a phone, and provide a lifestyle, you're going to have extra money enough to have some of those big play toys. And those things that's all fine, but you have to think about that. The other thing you need is you need a job that's going to allow you to have the time to go to the lake. So if you're a doctor, you'll have all that money, but you won't have any time because you're going to be working. But if you work at a manufacturing plant, you're going to work 4 days on, 3 days off. So you're going to have a lot more free time. So it's important to kind of look at the whole picture and really think about how much do you really want to have to make a lot of decisions in your day. Kristen, you probably have to make a lot of decisions, and they're big decisions. You're determining if a student needs any special services, special classes, and then you have to tell the parent. So some difficult things about that job.
Well, and that was if anybody asked me growing up, I was a very shy student. I wasn't very confrontational, but I have to have really hard conversations with parents. Sometimes they get their attorneys involved. It's very logistical at times. So that was one thing I never expected myself doing. But you develop skills to do it. And so with what you want to do. So my husband's first job, he worked at DE Appliances. He didn't get paid a lot, but it was just a starting level job. And so he had about 5 weeks of vacation. And so we go travel all the time. I have all this time off being in school. We get summer break, spring break, fall break, winter break. We would travel. But he just took a new job, about $30,000 pay raise, but you only get 2 weeks of vacation. But we decided, everything is temporary. Nothing is forever. And if you don't like a job within a year, take a new job. So you just kind of have to weigh your options. In order to do the things you like, you need to make more money if that's something, everything you like costs a lot of money.
And it is hard to make some changes or to get started, but it's kind of like writing a term paper. It's hard to write the pieces, so write the third or fourth paragraph and then come back to the pieces. Jump in and then come back. But think about if you had a day and you could do anything that day, what would be the first thing you want to do? And then build out from there. So if I know I want to spend the day with my best friend or my girlfriend or boyfriend. I know I want to be with that person. Or is it I want to be in an environment where I really know the people I work with? If you were going to translate that to a work environment. Do we have people that work here with their husbands, wives, partners?
There's many here.
We would, and that would drive me nuts. I'm always thinking, what happens if you get to work and you find out your guys are not much of a worker? I think that would be really hard. But some people really like that. They want to work with their partner. They want to be in the same environment. So think about that. Do you really want to work with people you know? Is it hard to take directions from people you know? Do you want to have someone that's going to be directly telling you what to do, or do you want to come up with how you run your day? You want to decide those things. So I guess I think those things are important to think about when you're creating a life. How do you all balance your life? Because you both have big jobs. You live in Louisville. You come down here. How do you manage all that time?
Well, so I'm only 27, and we just got married in June. So I don't have any kids. It's helpful because it's taken a lot of time. So we are big things travel. Like we went to Thailand for spring break. We went to Peru this year. We've been to Greece, Belize. Like we just really like to travel. So one thing that we make sure to make a priority is that we have travel money. And so you can't travel unless you have the money for it. So, you know, we would save up our days that we can take off of work. And then whenever our travel fund was getting a little bit bigger, we were like, okay, let's take a trip. It's really taught me a lot of discipline, because if I couldn't, I would just go shopping whenever I wanted to and spend money, or, you know, spend your money on things that you want. But travel is a priority for us. You know, we want those experiences. We want to be, you know, cultured with all the different cultures. So we've just made it a priority. The things that you like, you have to make it a priority. You can't just push it to the side, or you're never going to do it. If it wasn't for my husband, I would have never done it, because
Had you traveled a lot before you
No.
were, you know, married or had a partner?
I mean, like my family would take trips to South Carolina. We took like one trip to Mexico, one trip to Vietnam. But my sister started traveling a lot, so that kind of sparked our interest in seeing like these pretty beaches, going to these jungles, and you know, sleeping in the jungle, going to all these ruins. So we made it a priority. Like we're gone 24/7. Like when summer break comes, like I'll probably be gone 24/7. On every single break, we're gone to a different country. But that's because we made it a priority. You know, just spend your money on whatever you want to. We put it towards our travel fund.
So being able to make some choices doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a fancy job or this job or that type of job. It's managing the time and the money and the job. So there's lots of, and to look at that broader picture, will the job give you the opportunities that you want and for your life? And I want you to begin to think about that. You know, here at school, a lot of times they push us, we really want you to get all these academic grades, we want you to go to college, and those things are super important, but there's so many ways to do this life thing. And college is a good thing, but sometimes we don't, there are other things too. And I want you to look at the whole thing, because everyone, whatever you do, you'll have to have training. You'll have to either have some college, or you'll have to have some on-the-job training, or you'll have to go to the local community college. You will have some training, because everything is so high-tech now. If I went and changed jobs and did something else, I would have to go get more training in that field in order to do it. Everything has changed. When I came back to work, I stayed home for 9 years, and when my girls were little, I missed the whole time that they were coming up with desktop computers that everybody had. So much of the computer information that I knew was obsolete by the time I came back to work. So I had to learn all that in order to re-enter the workforce. And those things are constantly changing. So whatever you choose to do, you'll have to get training at some point. But I want you to begin to think broader, like the type of life you want and the type of things you want to have in your life. You know, they're taking time to not have kids right away because they want to do the travel. But on your travel, you're not just sitting having drinks on the beach. You're doing stuff, right?
We're up at 7 a.m. going to whatever place we want to go to, and then we're not home until we're at our hotel until late at night.
And maybe if you're wanting that lake life, maybe the thing is you want to make sure you can water ski. I don't know. Or maybe you really want to take flying lessons. I want you to begin to think about some of the passions that you might, maybe you haven't had the opportunity yet, but now you're 17, 18, going to be 19 years old, you get to begin to decide those things. And a lot of times you're exposed to them at college, but if you don't even know things exist, sometimes it's hard. And you have to balance it.
Well, and sometimes, like, even if you feel like, you know, you have a job that's good, you might still be trying to discover, what do I really want to do in life? Like, whenever I graduated college, if you graduate college with a psychology degree, there's not much you can do with just an undergraduate psychology degree. So I knew from the get-go I had to do more schooling past the 4 years of college. So I decided myself, I'm going to take a year off, and then I'm going to get a PhD. I'm going to go into school psychology. I was still trying to figure that out. And then my parents caught wind of it, and they were like, if you take a year off, you're probably never going to go back. They know, they know me better than I know myself, and they're probably right. If I took a year off, you're probably never going to go back. So right from the get-go, out of undergrad, I went to graduate school. And did I really want to go to 3 extra years of schooling? No. But I knew in order to have a job that was a good job, I had to do that. So make the sacrifices. So I got my start like a little bit later than some of my friends that got jobs like right out of undergrad, but it was worth it. Because none of my friends have their entire summers off. None of my friends get winter break, fall break, spring break. So it was really worth it.
Not very many jobs like that.
No.
But, I work in the school system and I don't have those breaks. So I'm here almost all summer because people don't just have problems in the winter. Problems year round. So most jobs you will work year round. But you may work a 12-hour day or a 10-hour day. Or you may decide, as a young person, I would have never thought about going in the service. But being in this community where I meet so many people who are in the military, and I meet so many people that have retired from the military, that I can see all the opportunities they were able to experience. They've been able to travel, they've had to be very brave, lots of things have happened, but the education that they've gathered along their deployments and their different stations is amazing too. So there's lots of things to consider. We have a lot of opportunities. Do any of you all have some questions for Kristen? Anything?
Yeah, I have, like I said, if you all want to get in contact with me about psychology or education, beyond special education, we also help with like crisis intervention. So if there's like a death at the school by like a faculty member or a student, then all of the school psychologists in the district come. There's about 15 of us, and we come and help, counsel the students during that hard time. I work with teachers and develop like a good education plans for some students because some students might not need special education, but maybe they're not thriving in a regular environment.
When we have our suicide prevention program in the fall, Kristen and her team come and meet with any students that need a little bit more support that day because it can be unsettling to think about those things. And your team always comes and helps us, which is really nice.
And we love like helping students out. Like if any of you all ever just like want to talk about things other than like psychology or anything, like I'm always here on Wednesdays. You can always find me on Wednesdays in room 101. But other than that, like again, you can email me, whatever. But like I said, if you want to get in contact about social media, I can get you in contact with my husband. My sister is an ER nurse, who's into nursing. I have a lot of different experiences around me. So.
How many of you all post videos on social media?
I plan to.
What?
I plan to.
Okay. I think a lot of people do. I think
That's a hot commodity right
It is. So on your things that you filled out, did you find anything surprising about yourself?
I was focused.
Oh, that's fine. Well, you all can do that help yourself to some snacks, and if you have any questions for Kristen, go ahead and ask her, and then we'll do some prizes here too.
So, going through this, I know myself to be a very creative person. I'm into a bunch of different things, all of them are like creative fashion, videography. I actually work with fun saying and then like getting into programming and reading all that stuff. So it's really interesting seeing like all these other things that I'm not like usually normally into, because my parents, my dad is very politically minded, and he keeps out politics, and he works in accounting and logistics. While my mom is like really likes nature and is always going out on hikes with her husband and whatnot. So and then she works with kids and like loves like animals and stuff. So it's really interesting seeing stuff that I normally don't have much of an opinion on, like outside of the creative industries, be like swayed towards what my parents have been raised on.
Yeah, our parents have a big influence on us, and that's fine, and it's important to hear them and be respectful of those things as we live in their homes. But you all are young adults, and you all have, I constantly have students come down and tell me like they don't get along with their parents. You don't understand the snow. I'm like, no idea, because you're adults and you all have your own thoughts and your own ideas, and that's part of becoming a young adult, is you get to decide how you want to go through this career, this life of yours. And it's important to take all the information in. So your parents are going to offer a great deal of great information. You're going to get some here with your teachers. Your friends are going to give you information, and you're just going to be exposed to so many things. And I really just am hoping that you'll begin to see that you need to take it all in, and then really follow your heart, and really decide where you want to be, and really think of it as a path, like a pathway. Like, it's not just this is what happens for the next 50 years. One of the things that has really changed since I was a young person to now is that careers change, environments change. People are having to do different things throughout their life. They may have started as one thing. Maybe at the beginning they were a teacher, then they may have gotten into being a counselor, and then maybe they've decided to sell educational books or write books. And so their path grew. Or my father was an engineer, and he was a mechanical engineer, then he was with the space program, then my father designed computers, and he ended up with the Federal Reserve Bank. And that happened from like, say, 1950 to 1980. 87. And so his career then changed a great deal. And even now, and the computers then that my father designed took up a whole building. And now you have a computer on your phone. So time changes, and the jobs that are available change, and that will happen in your lifetime too. And so I just want you to be open and kind of keep in mind some of the things where maybe sometime you all are on a trip and some travel thing will happen, and all of a sudden you and guy won't come back. You'll be living in Fiji, I don't know. But you have to balance those things and take all the information in. So it's exciting to be at the beginning. You all, it's all in front of you.
Don't be discouraged if things change. Things change all the time. People get different careers, take a different route in school. It's just life.
I know transferable skills are very important.
What?
I'm not good at math.
Oh, did you get the science and yeah, me too. Like biologists and chemists make sense.
Well, and sometimes some of the things that you know, that people tell you your whole life, that, did everybody get a red piece of paper in there? Just, throughout my entire time growing up, I talked too much. I spent a lot of time in the hall. I spent a lot of time not behaving. But you know what? I spend my life talking and visiting and being friendly. And so actually you can do that for a living. But it just... So did you all fill one out?
We do.
You did not. Here you go, fill out a little red. You don't have your name, put your name on one.
My name is Emery Gates, and I am a senior.
And how did tonight go?
I think it went pretty well. I feel like the speakers had a lot of important things to say. There was really good food and snacks, just kind of like healthy stuff and not healthy stuff. And there was prizes. It was pretty cool.
And what did you learn from the speaker tonight?
What I learned, well, I feel like it made me think more than learn, that there's a lot of different job choices and you might not know all of them, and you might just have to like explore more than just be kind of in a focused bubble or tunnel vision it. So you just gotta like outstretch everything.
And what would you like to be, or what kind of fields would you like to be in when you
Well, I'm hoping to be a firefighter paramedic. I think it would be very fun. I've had some classes, so I have my Fire 1 already. If that doesn't happen, I would like to be a psychologist.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Caitlin Green, and I am in 12th grade.
And what brought you here today? Why did you decide to come to this?
So I participate in a lot of school events, so like the Big Read, or if they need help setting up for prom, homecoming, I tend to volunteer a lot.
And what did you think of today's presentation and the speaker?
It's definitely a lot calmer than the ones I'm used to, but it's not necessarily bad. It's a nice, soft environment, and I prefer softer environments.
And what did you learn specifically today? What's something that stuck out?
So the speaker had us fill out a survey over our career preferences by answering a survey of questions. I knew that I would probably be animals and agriculture and plants, so that was expected. What I didn't expect, however, was the mathematics and technology section.
And what would you like to do with your job? Would you like to have?
Not quite sure. I know I would like to have a decently paying job, but still have time to tattoo. Drawing and art forms are a passion of mine.
My name is Lillian Walker. I am a junior.
And why did you come here today?
Well, I do a lot of things with RC-SAD, which Miss Snow directs. She's the organizer for that, and this seemed like something that I might want to come to just for future career advice.
And how did today go? What did you learn? How did it affect you?
Unfortunately, it might not have been as useful for me as for some, because I've been thinking a lot about my career for many years, even if I didn't know specifically what I wanted to do. But I still feel like I learned a couple important things, like at least finding out that, hey, some of my biases might have been influenced a bit more by my parents than I would have expected them to be. And also just hearing personal experiences by actual professionals in the field was very useful.
And what is a field of work that you want to go into after you graduate?
I'm definitely going to be into some kind of creative industry. What specifically, I have no idea. I mostly just label myself as a multimedia artist. I work with a ton of different things, learning a Blender, learning Python, learning how to sew and do fashion, and I am in the media arts pathway in school. So just a bunch of different things.